Cracker the Biscuit Warrior is nigh unstoppable as Luffy throws all of his most powerful attacks at the Cookie Warrior, and nothing even works. Even the super-powered King Kong gun, which defeated Doflamingo in the Dressrosa arc. How's Luffy gonna get out of this one? Find out in my review of this week's episode of One Piece, which there really isn't all that much to talk about because most of this episode is dedicated to the flashback of Sanji and Zeph when they were shipwrecked and had to wait an incredibly long time as their bodies became incredibly malnourished, turning into skeletons as they waited to be saved. It was also the crucial moment where Zeph lost his leg. This scene is important for new viewers, and I understand that, and I definitely get why they decided to show that scene throughout this episode. And it is worth noting that they did expand on it oh so slightly, but the end is still basically the same as it always was. And like I said, they decided to show this flashback because they go back to the scene where Sanji and his brother are having a freaking shit fit, with Niji being a total dickhead by actually attacking Sanji, about to kick him in the face when his father stops him. And this scene's really cool because even though he doesn't kick Sanji, there's this massive blast which actually just appears right behind him and ends up knocking that maid down. Just something about that was so stylish and cool. And his father decides to stop Niji because the wedding is coming up and they can't have Sanji looking all fucked up as he's walking down the aisle. But really, that's one of the most noteworthy scenes of this week's episode. That and all the scenes of Luffy desperately trying to fight against Cracker, who, no matter how many clones he defeats, they always manage to just keep coming back in droves. It's like a freaking Hydra cookie. It's ridiculous. And Luffy does try a few new things, like doing a double Culverine and using the King Kong gun, but it just doesn't do jack shit against Cracker, and he eventually does lose his Gear 4th form and has to make a strategic retreat and needs just 10 minutes to recuperate before he can go back into battle. And the rest of the episode is pretty much just Sanji and his backstory with Zeph. So, what's the rundown on this week's episode of One Piece? Basically just more of Luffy fighting against Cracker and looking at a lot of classic techniques which unfortunately don't do anything against this freaking giant cookie bastard. It's ridiculous, and you can tell that Cracker seems to be having a lot of fun with this battle, and he's clearly someone you don't want to fuck around with because he's just making Gear 4th look like a total weak technique. And I guess he is stronger than Doflamingo. I mean, I always try to imagine what would happen if, like, the newest villain in One Piece fought the one from the previous arc, because, like Dragon Ball and a lot of other classic series, it is always convenient how the next enemy is always just a little bit stronger than the last. And Cracker right here is showing that apparently his abilities are just more resilient than anything that Doflamingo had against Luffy when they were fighting on Dressrosa, which in and of itself was an incredibly epic battle. But here, maybe it's just because he has the strategy of being in the seducing woods and he's got this like home field advantage. But then again, Doflamingo kind of had that too. I don't know, it's hard when you look at the power scaling in just about any series. You just have to accept the fact that Cracker is incredibly fucking powerful and that he's just running a train over Luffy at this point. That and all the scenes with Sanji pretty much hit it home the way that they always do. You can just feel how incredibly angry, pissed, and trapped that he is in this arc, especially knowing that Zeph, who he considers his very own true father, is basically has the opportunity to get killed by Germa 66 at this point, and he doesn't want to do anything that's going to exacerbate that situation, and that's why he's just going to try and play it cool and calm, and maybe try to come up with another plan in order to escape from all of these freaking maniacs. That, and like I said, lots of backstory. So that's pretty much what you got going on in this week's episode, and for the most part, it's completely inoffensive. What I will say is, when it comes to the Sanji backstory stuff at the end and all the flashback sequences, if you've seen it before, well, you can skip ahead, and if you haven't seen it, check it out. It's some new stuff that you haven't seen before. All the stuff with Luffy at the beginning of the episode was pretty damn solid, and I loved the scene between Sanji and Niji and his brother doing that really kick-ass kick attack. So, there's definitely some cool stuff to see in this episode, but also some stuff to skip if you don't want to go through some of the stuff you've seen before. So I'm going to give this episode a 4 out of 5. Check it out, One Piece fans. If any of you did watch the episode, make sure to tell me what you thought about it in the comments section below. And make sure to tell me what you hope to see in the next episode. How is Luffy going to fight back against Cracker? And what do you want to see from the rest of the Whole Cake Island arc? Make sure to subscribe to this channel for more One Piece anime and manga content, and make sure to use your devil fruit powers to share this video with your friends and to hit that like button by giving this video a thumbs up. Thank you all again for watching, take care, and as always, stay down there, baby.